This is PlayerProps.ai. This for winners research. We run it up with every betting tool you know in each perk. Travis tested waters, help you swim even the feet first. Now strategies and all you need to help you PlayerProps.ai. This for winners research. We run it up with every betting tool you know in each perk. Travis tested waters, help you swim even the feet first. Now strategies and all you need to help you.
Hey guys, it's me, Travis with PlayerProps.ai. This is a show targeting the AFC Championship game. So normally what we've been doing all playoffs long is we've been doing an episode per day, but now there are only 2 days of NFL left. So we have AFC Championship and NFC Championship, both of those games playing on Sunday to determine who goes to the Super Bowl. And then of course a few weeks later we have Super Bowl Sunday. So instead of just doing one show, let's go ahead and do two, one for each championship game. Before we do that, depending on when you're watching this, actually doesn't really matter when you're watching this, we started a fantasy golf league. Everyone's free to join. You can hop in there. It's extremely easy. It's probably one of the easiest fantasy leagues to play. And if you haven't paid attention to that, I'll explain why it's so simple and how it works. But even if you didn't play or start playing when we started it last week, you can still start this week. And heck, even if you miss this week, you can still start next week if you want to. It doesn't matter. You can hop in wherever you want to, but the earlier you start, the more advantage you have on getting first place. And if you're asking yourself, well, if it's a free contest, what's first place, Travis? Well, let me tell you. You win an entire 365 days of PlayerProps.ai Premium 100% free. If you want a free 365 days, you probably want to start playing this contest league thing we have here. So really quick explanation. It's called a one and done league. All you have to do, literally the bare minimum of what you have to do, is just enter a golfer every week. You can't choose a golfer you've chosen before. Enter a golfer every week that you haven't chosen before, and that's it. And how do you get your score, you might ask? Whatever that golfer wins in real world money from wherever they finish in the golf tournament for that week. There's a golf tournament every week. If they finish first place, for example, and they actually win $1.7 million, like this is just an example, that $1.7 million goes to your scores. You're trying to accumulate the most money possible by choosing golfers that are going to be winning the most money possible. So last week we started on a site. What we found out is that PlayerProps.ai essentially melted their servers. They weren't prepared for a lot of people from our community coming and creating accounts and playing this contest. So what we did is we created, after we melted their servers, and it seems like they're not putting them back up or upgrading them, what we did is we created our own system. So I'm going to show you real quick how that works and what that looks like. So give me a second here. I've pulled up the Discord here, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to play in this contest, how easy it is to put your entry in. So again, you don't have to know jack about golf. You just have to know a golfer's first and last name that is actually playing in the tournament. And if you're like, well, I don't know who's playing in the tournament, well, Madman here, one of our VIP members, dropped this sheet. All these players' names playing in the tournament. You can just pick one at random if you want to, or it's probably better if you go to Joey's cheat sheets. He's created some golf models here to kind of show you based on what he's creating, who's has the highest chance or the highest implied win and all this other stuff for a good chance to win. So I know there's only not even that many golfers, but he has things to help you. But you can just pick blindly if you want to, and you still have a chance of winning this free year of PlayerProps.ai. So I'll show you how easy it is to do it. You just go to PGA Contest. This is a channel that every single human on planet Earth has access to. This is not a VIP channel. This is a free channel. I kind of show a screenshot here of how it works, but we're going to just show you an example here. So what you do is in this channel, you're going to do /PGA, and this is what's going to pop up here. So after you do /PGA, you're going to hit the space bar, and then ask for your golfer name. You need to put first and last name here. So let's say I'm just going to pick a golfer at random, which I hope I change this before it locks, because I definitely don't want to pick Gary Woodland. So this is the golfer name I choose. Then you tap on week. If you click or tap whatever if you're on your phone or your computer, and you're typing the week of the event. Last week was week 1. It was the first golf tournament of the season. This is week 2. So what you want to do is make sure you're typing in the golfer name for week 2. And that's all you have to do. /PGA, spacebar, tap in the first and last name of a golfer that's playing in the event. Make sure you're selecting the week. This week is week 2. Next week is week 3, week 4, so on. And you just hit the enter button. So once you do that, This is something that nobody else is going to see. You're the person who enters the data. Me, in this example, I've just entered this data. It's going to record the Discord username, it's going to record the golfer name, and it's record the week that you chose that golfer for. Nobody else is going to see this. Nobody else is going to see your picks. And then you just click, you can click dismiss message if you want to get rid of that. And so what that does is it sends it to a Google Sheet that Joey and I have, to where we can, what he does is he takes the entire list of who everybody picked, and then you guys can just track your golfer on ESPN or whatever sports score app you like using. And he'll, at the end of the tournament, he'll be like, okay, so this guy finished first. So you had this guy, so you won that $1.7 million towards your score. And that's as simple as it works. It's just a fun league. If you've never done anything golf, this is the easiest way to get into golf, to actually get interested in golf. You just have one person you're rooting for the entire weekend. So make sure, I'm recording this on Wednesday. If you're watching this the day I record, you still have time for week 2, because every week the tournaments start on Thursday morning. So unless you're waking up like at 3 a.m. Eastern time Thursday morning, you probably should get that in every Wednesday at the latest. /PGA, spacebar, first and last name of golfer, and then whichever week we're playing, which again, as I mentioned, is week number 2. So I do plenty of these fun fantasy contests a year to give away free annual passes to PlayerProps.ai. We just had the Maverick, which is his Discord username. He just won a free year because he won the College Bowl Mania. We'll do something for March Madness as well. But even though I do these often, I don't do them like every month. It's just based on seasonality and based on how much interest we get. So long story short, if you want an entire year for free, which I'm guessing if you're betting on sports, that's probably a guaranteed yes, you do. This is how you do it. So we're only focusing here on the AFC Championship game. So we've clicked on that, and I don't know if you're very new here, you can actually click on a game and it'll only show you players from the game that's highlighted. You see how this is like a lighter gray than this one here? If we clicked on this one and show both, we only click on one. So we're looking at Houston versus New England. Houston, this is not the correct matchup. I don't know how it took me this long to realize I'd clicked the wrong date. Yes, this is the correct matchup for the 18th, but this is the weekend of the championship conference games. Now we're on the AFC Championship game. Anywho, moving on. Man, it's one of those weeks. So we have Denver, New England. Denver made it as both number 1 seeds made it, Denver and Seattle. Both number 1 seeds have a chance to verse each other in the Super Bowl. Denver had an enormous blow by having their quarterback, Bo Nix, break some bone in his ankle, and he's out for the entire rest of the playoffs, whether they make it to the Super Bowl or not. Denver, because of this, is the largest home underdog in a conference championship game since the AFL-NFL merger happened in like 1970, because they lost their starting quarterback. Largest home underdog since the 1970 merger. So let's see if we can find something we like. So we're going to do what we always do. Normally when we've been doing this, we have had at least 2 or 3 games happen, which allow us to get a decent amount of players. But when you focus on one individual game, it kind of makes it a little difficult to find something that's incredibly sexy. Speaking of one individual game, if you listened and did everything I told you to do for the college football playoff championship of Miami versus Indiana, you won profit because we crushed that show. It's very easy to win money in sports betting. Just listen to the words that come out of my mouth. As long as you ask for help when you need it, and as long as you get into the Discord, which you have zero excuses for not getting into the Discord, you're going to be setting yourself up much more than people that are just throwing darts blindfolded. All you have to do is listen to words come out of my mouth. I am not the smartest person on planet Earth, nor do I claim. I'm not the best bettor on planet Earth. I just know why you're losing all your money, and I know how you can stop losing all your money. You have 2 options. It's essentially stop betting or listen to the words that come out of my mouth. Now, for this particular game, there is ugliness in the receiving passing options. Both defenses are in the top 3 in the last 3 games played of allowing the fewest passing yards. Over the course of the season, Denver is 22nd most passing yards allowed, which also is the same thing as saying they're the 10th least. Over the course of the last 3 games, they're 29th most, which is the same thing as saying 3rd least. New England, also somewhat of a stout pass defense. This season, 24th most, which is the same as saying 8th least. 30th most in the last 3 games, which is the same as saying second. No, there's 32 teams, so this is 3rd least, and this would be 4th least. The problem is I'd be like, oh, let's look at some underplays. But these are the only 3 receiving options that have a line of 40 or higher. And if you look here, just a quick glance, a plus difference, plus difference, plus difference. There's no overplays. If we're choosing one thing for the AFC Championship, we're not going to be finishing the show by choosing something that doesn't make sense. First off, it doesn't make sense to go over on somebody that's got a red defense. Red for the season, red for the last 3. It also doesn't make sense to go with somebody that doesn't even have much of a difference at all. So even if these were green, this guy's got practically no difference, Hunter Henry. He only has maybe 2.2 yards difference, and Stephon Diggs, like a little over 5. Something to pay attention to, of course, is game script. We've been focusing very heavily on game script. I wouldn't say the season, but definitely in the last month and 2 months, and we've won a crazy amount of money because we've hit a crazy amount of shows by focusing on game script. And when we try to veer away from it, that's when it bites us in the butt. So we are on another football win streak. If you want to include the college football championship, where we hit a lot of crap in that show, we are now on we haven't missed a football show. I think, was there playoff games last Monday? I think it was just Saturday and Sunday for the divisional, right? No, hold on, I'm going back here. There was a wild card game on Monday, I think. Yeah, so since that Monday, which I think was the Houston game where we went against game script, which is my fault. But since that first Monday wild card we've hit, which was over 2 weeks ago, we're back on track. 1.5 weeks ago, we're back on track with our football streak, because we had a 26-day streak that ended on the wild card Sunday. We're back on a new one, focusing heavily on game script. And this, no touchy. No likey, no touchy. Let's see if there's any sexy things for rushing yards for the AFC Championship. So this is interesting as well. So if you watch the AFC divisional where New England played and won the game, which is why they're in this game, is Travion Henderson. I don't remember what he hurt, but he definitely hurt himself. He got hurt. He probably would have a line here that's higher than 40. But I think because he got hurt, I don't know how healthy he's going to be for this game. But even if he was healthy, Denver is the second best rush defense. They've allowed the 31st most rush yards, which means they're the second best, and they're still pretty stout in the last 3 games of the season, which is 7th best here. So this is red, this is under, but because there's no real difference between the line and the rushing yards, this is not something we're going to force either. And there's also the question mark, which is one of the checklists in our 6 checks we go through for every player prop to determine if it's good or not. One of the checks, is there any injury concerns? Yes. If Travion Henderson decides to play, or we don't know if he's going to play or not play, so we don't want to touch Stevenson because we don't know how healthy he's going to be in 5 days, 4 or 5 days when this game comes around. So I'm not touching rushing yards. It's interesting to see, of course, Denver being the biggest home underdog in post-1970 merger history. I already know there's not going to be any Denver options. So every single player that has a rushing yard line in general right now on DraftKings has a under rushing projection, but it's not by enough anyway. So I don't like quarterback rushing stuff. Let me see if FanDuel's got anything else. No. Okay. So it's not going to be pass. Well, actually, we haven't even looked at the passing yards yet. Maybe there's a good under passing yards play because they're both red defenses. Oh, man. So I have a rule. We don't go under a player that has like a line that's less than 200. Because it's very easy to throw for 200 yards in an NFL game if you're an NFL quarterback. Because you could, like, one mistake by the defense and you get a guy wide open and you throw for like a 50, 60-yard bomb. That's already 25% of the number you need to hit on one play. And so I don't really like things that are under 200 because I feel like one defender for New England sneezes and he can get 60, 70 yards on one play. Not touching Drake May. There's no difference, and it's all conflicting information. The question, though, can Jared's... I know there's a massive chunk here, but you have to understand, the Denver Broncos are going to be down all game. I don't think this is going to be a close game. Actually, let me just answer that for you guys. So right now, New England on DraftKings is a minus 258 money line, which means that DraftKings specifically says they have a 72% implied chance to win. Our AI is like, you're going to probably win this game. We actually like them 2% high more than the sportsbooks do. So what's the spread right now? New England minus 5.5 is the spread, and the AI is like, yeah, they're probably going to cover that. So I don't think that this... I mean, maybe it could be a close game, but regardless, we can only assume that New England is clicking on all cylinders. And they're versing a team. I don't think Jared has started all season. Like I think the only snap he's had, hold on, let me just look at this stuff. I don't think he has any past data because he only came in for this Dallas game and he kneeled the ball. Like, that's the only action he's had all year. He came into the Dallas game and he kneeled the ball to take out. So he's got nothing for that. And I have to believe that because he's going to be down the entire game, they're not going to take him out. You can't bench a quarterback. I know they signed I forgot what his name was, but they signed a guy that was playing on Broncos 2 years ago, and he's still, I think it's a similar still play style or similar, what's the word I'm looking for? Playbook. So he's going to be like the emergency quarterback, I guess. But I don't, like, Jarrett has to get hurt to not hit this line. I have to believe he's going to get more than 145, which we don't bet on this number anyway. We just bet on the side that the AI directs us, but this doesn't go with GameScript. GameScript says Jarrett's passing all game. The best running back in the league, RJ Harvey, is a very good pass-catching back. Cortland Sutton is decent. Ingram is a decent pass-catching tight end. Mims has speed. Like, I have to believe that if we watch an entire game and he doesn't get knocked out by injury, yeah, this just doesn't go with GameScript. We don't have to force this. We gotta look elsewhere. We're not doing rush yards. We're not doing passing yards. Let's look at pass attempts. No, nothing there. No edge on those. Again, this just doesn't... The AI doesn't really have much to go off of because he hasn't played. There's no real historical data for this guy. So the AI doesn't have much to go off of. Because he does almost nothing. He has nothing in the last 365 days. He has a game he went in to kneel the ball to run out the clock. And we're not going to force things, and it's saying right here that I have to believe he throws for at least 20 completions if he's down the entire game. So we're not going to touch that one. Passing touchdowns. This is super juicy here. Minus 204. So this is like the only thing the AI has over for him so far for Jarrett. They can't be like, there's no way they're going to be shut out if they're passing the entire game. I have to believe he gets one passing touchdown. We're going to back pocket this. This is the first thing that makes somewhat sense for game script and everything, but this is super juicy minus 204. Passing interceptions. This is interesting though. Look at this. The projection. So AI has shown you this entire show that Jarrett is going to suck. But it says, if you look at these two projections, Jarrett Stidham and projection for throwing an interception is almost identical to Drake May. That's because they're giving both of these defenses their flowers. They're saying, yeah, both these defenses are pretty good. Both players, I mean, there's no real difference there. That's 0.5, 0.67. I don't think we're going to bet on that, but it's just interesting. We can look at receptions. So what I was looking for originally, I was looking for Broncos because they're going to be passing the entire game. This is not an overplay. This here is the exact same. His line is his reception, so we can't target something there. This is just going to be, this is an ugly prop game, man. Oh, we found a Trevion prop. So apparently they do think he's going to play. They just don't think he's going to be... That's weird. He didn't have a rushing yards line, but he has a rushing attempts line on DraftKings. Maybe DraftKings is just updating what they're offering. Every single person with rush attempts prop on DraftKings is A, on New England, and B, under. You see they're -2, -9, -10. You don't want to go under on a team rush attempts when they're going to be winning the game and running the ball out. So it doesn't go with game script either. We already looked at rush yards. Oh, Trevion's showing now. He wasn't showing before. Yeah, again, this doesn't go with game script here. I know Denver has a super stout rush defense, but they're going to get garbage time. They're going to get garbage time handoffs. I don't like doing defensive stats like sacks, tackles, and all that stuff. So the only thing... We didn't look at touchdowns yet. We went through every offensive stat but touchdowns. Man, the only thing that makes sense is Jarrett over 0.5 passing touchdowns, but it's so stupid juicy. We gotta see if we can get it juiced down. We're looking at 25. Passing touchdowns. The best one is DraftKings. Everybody else is even overjuiced. Man. So normally, this is a situation we ran into yesterday. Yesterday we did an NHL show. The top shots on goal prop we were looking at was -198, and I'm like, I don't want to go with that. It's very juicy. Means like you're going to get less profit when you bet on it than if you were to do something else. But if we would have stuck with that, we would have hit our gosh dang NHL show. But the minus 198 play we were first looking at on yesterday's NHL show hit. So this is ugly, but there's nothing else I like. We went through every offensive stat. This is the only thing that makes sense. You have to believe because he's passing the entire game, that at some point in 4 quarters, he gets the ball thrown into the end zone and somebody catches it, or throws it to somebody and they run into the end zone. Ladies and gentlemen, I understand that minus 204 is ugly. I get it. It is. We want something closer to like a minus 110. But would you rather make a little profit over losing the bet, which is the situation we ran into yesterday with NHL? If we would have just stuck with the minus 198 because it was the best thing showing in the shots on goal, which is the number one stat that I tell you guys to focus on when it comes to hockey. I don't want to run into that same situation twice. So even though I know this is ugly, it's minus 204. This is the only thing that makes sense. We just went through everything. You don't want to force something of like, oh, we got to get something that has better odds. It doesn't matter if it has better odds if it doesn't hit. And this is the thing that makes the most sense. We don't want to go, we need to play on game script. New England's going to win this game. The running backs are going to get fourth quarter rushes, so we're not going to go under on them when the AI's showing under. Denver's going to be past the entire game, so we're not going to go under on any of Jarrett's stats. This is the only thing the AI likes over for Jarrett, and it makes sense from a game script point of view. He's going to be passing the entire game. And heck, this is game script if it goes according to plan. But let's say it doesn't go according to plan, and Denver just demolishes New England. If they destroy New England and Jarrett's like super elite in this game, he's still going to get one in the end zone because that's part of this destroying game script. So yeah, I think that's what I go with. So tomorrow I'll be doing the NFC Championship one. If you haven't yet, make sure you click the thumbs up on this video. Make sure you comment what your favorite play is for the AFC Championship game. Make sure you're in the Discord because there's no excuses to not join a free Discord that's proven to help people lose less and win more. And yeah, if you're not subscribed to this channel yet, you might be a borderline psychopath. Click the subscribe button, turn your notifications on so you know when a new video drops. Good luck this weekend, and we'll see you guys in the next video.